This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve on a slightly damp and rainy morning. This morning we've got Lauren with us on Game Drive and JP at Pridelands. I think the other vehicles have been grounded a little bit by the rain. That's fine. We're going to do our best, so please wrap up warm on your morning sofa and join us live on African Safari. So welcome everyone. These Wildebeest are, oh, that one's getting a little bit frisky in the morning. They were lying up right close to us. Just before we went live, they decided to move off a little bit. There's a slight drizzle this morning. We had to put the roof on old Rusty. I hope it's going to clear off and clear up a bit later so we can carry on. But welcome aboard. My name's John T. We've got OD on the camera and we are going to have such an adventure this morning. We've been hearing a zebra alarm calling up in this open area. I believe there were lions on the dam cam earlier this morning, so I'm not sure if the zebra was shouting at there, but we're going to go have a little look and then we're going to go and see if we can find any tracks of the prince, the leopard. And please remember, we love to get your questions and comments. So please use the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter, at FC on YouTube. And if you're under the age of 18, pop us a mail on kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. And you can register on the WildEarth website. Head over to the live safari page. You can submit your questions there. Look at those two busy pushing each other around a little bit. See how they drop down onto their knees to stop the other one getting sort of an advantage. It's like watching two wrestlers. The other ones are like, calm down, stop it. He didn't mean what he said. Oh. It's interesting where they've moved to. It looks like they're under the sort of shade of the canopy. I wonder if they sort of preempted the slightly heavier drizzle that's coming down now. But it does look like it is going to clear off a bit later, which is awesome. Because for some reason I hate driving around with the roof on. But let's drive forward and see what's happening there. We had a few questions last night about what do the animals do in the rain. So you can see now this morning is quite a good example. It's not a heavy rain at all, it's just a light drizzle. And there's impalas out here on quarantine. The wildebeest don't seem too perturbed. Can just become a bit more uncomfortable for Odie and I. I can see the zebras there. We'll just drive around the road, loops around to the left. We'll have a look at the zebra and see what they're doing. That was the sound we were hearing while we were gearing up this morning. And again, they will try and have their calves drop in the rainy season. So sort of now, in the next sort of this month, next month will be the last sort of time that they would have been breeding, so that by the time the rains come, December, January, February, that's when their calves will drop. So they try and time it with all the nice fresh grass that'll come up with the rain. Grab it. So I see some zebra over there and some impala. The starlings hopping around by their feet, snapping up any insects that have been disturbed. Is a rainy day good for predators? You know, it's a tough one. Based on a human perspective, if you were to be on a safari vehicle in the rain, it's obviously not pleasant. So often people will opt out for the warmth of the lodge. But some epic things happen in the rain. I know a lot of stories of guys who've gone out in torrential rain and seen lion kills, leopard kills, even cheetah hunting in the rain. So I think it does help. One of the big things that happens with the rain, especially when it's hard rain, it takes away the sound element of them stalking. So the antelope or the prey species now only have smell to rely on and sight, and the smell's also slightly compromised because when it's heavy rain like that, you know, the air gets filled with that sort of water smell. You know, that great smell we get after the rain. So it is a bit easier for them to get closer. And when it's hard rain, you'll see a whole herd of impala, for example. They all turn their bums into the rain and they all kind of huddle up and they lift their coats and they just try to be as warm as possible. So when they're standing like that, they are definitely more vulnerable to attacks. I would say it definitely does aid them. If it's wind and rain, then it's go time for the predators. We're going to leave these zebras here and carry on with our morning. You're going to head over and say good morning to Lauren.
Good morning, everyone. What a way to start the morning. Not entirely enthusiastic about the rain, but when you come down to the dam cam and the entire pride is there, that's definitely something to be excited about. My name is Lauren. I do have Darren on camera, and we are at Gowrie Dam, right next to the dam cam. And we're here with the Talamati Pride. Now, Darren, if you just look at this one right here, if you're able to get this lioness, ooh, she's full. She's extremely full. And that means they've obviously feasted on something last night. And I don't know what it was. The dam cam went down last night. We had a bit of a power cut. And they've clearly killed something. I don't see any remains of a carcass here or any scavengers. So I'm not sure if they killed here or if they just finished what they were eating and then came to lie near the dam cam. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 9 individuals right now, and they're all pretty full, which means that everyone has had a fantastic snack along the way. So it's great to wake up and see the Talamatis, I must say. Great start to the morning. We've got our rain roof on, as I think Johnsie's already mentioned to you, and makes life a little bit trickier, but it definitely protects us and all our equipment from the rain. I do think it will disappear. I think the sun's going to burst through and it's going to be a glorious day after all. Or one hopes. Can you see the hippo over there, Darren? Not too happy. Hippos are never happy, really, when you get down to it. They are the grumpiest of the grumpiest in the bush. But he's thinking, why are all these cats sitting around my dam? I don't like cats. What are they doing? And they're not doing much. But because of the temperature and the season, cats are a lot more mobile during the day now. However, looking at these full bellies, I have to say, not entirely sure they're going to do much this morning. But it's still nice to spend time with them. Many of you are very happy they got a good meal. Oh, definitely. Some bellies are fuller than others, I must say, but they are full. Really full. And if the carcass was nearby, of course, scavengers would be present. So, unfortunately, I don't have the answers to what happened last night, but we'll definitely try and piece it together. I think these lionesses appeared on the dam cam just as Drive ended last night. Which is typical. But as for what went on during the night, we do not know. But it's also nice to sit. I love having lions and cats around the water body. Tara, you're saying you love seeing sleepy lions. I do too. I think I must prefer it when they're a little bit mobile. But sleepy lions on a rainy day, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain on the rain roof, it's definitely going to make me feel a little bit sleepy, that's for sure. Don't see Darkmane, though. Darkmane, we bumped into him yesterday. He was with Jonesy, but we drove right into that sighting, which happens. And he was on Sandy Pat, so he really wasn't too far away, but I don't see signs of him right now. And he, of course, looked like he needed a really good meal yesterday. He looked very, very skinny. Which is normal. It's a life of feast and famine out here for the predators. It's not a guaranteed meal every single day. But hopefully he gets one. And Darkmane can hunt. He absolutely can hunt. He maybe wouldn't be able to take down huge species due to the nature of his injury, but he is a powerful, powerful male lion, and he absolutely can hunt. He likes to rely on the lionesses and the sub-adults from the Talamatis, but of course he can hunt. He's a survivor. Look at your little mane. The Talamati sub-adults are 6 females and 3 males. Still classifies as sub-adults at this stage. And I feel they've made Kalahari Dam, the area where we are right now, very much part of their core area of their territory. Territory is not equal. There'll be a core area always, and it's normally around a water body and an area where there's lots of resources. The Nkahumas very much used to have this as their core area, but it's not anymore. It's amazing just watching nature over time. 10 out of 10 for that roly-poly. It was beautiful. But yes, it's amazing how over time things shift, always. And because we get to follow these animals, we get to see the changes over time. It's really quite something. Darren, are you able to see this lioness? Oh wait, let's just see if is a pole in the way. Polecat. Gotta love a polecat. Look at that shot. I thought it was an injury at first from far away, but we have established it's just mud or could be buffalo dung that she's clearly chosen to roll in, and yeah. But on the dam cam, it did look like an injury when the dam cam was an infrared. You gotta love a polecat. Look, the Avokas were born in 2013, we believe. And they come from a place not too far. Look at the waterbuck, the mom and her offspring right over there. They're watching. They know the lions are at the other side of the dam. You see that? Complete other side of the dam, but they know they're there, even though they're flat. The waterbuck can probably smell them and see them. But yes, 2013, so roughly 8 or coming up for 8 or just over 8. And Avoka's a place that we drive past when we drive into Hoedspruit, which is our nearest town, to get food and water and all sorts of snacks and apple juice. So it's quite a substantial distance away. So that's where the Avokas come from, and they're believed to have been born around 2013. I wouldn't be surprised if we see dark mane today. I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually ends up here. Okay, we're going to stay here. This sighting is absolutely fabulous. But for now, over to Jonty.
I'm sure those lions are just relaxing, enjoying the morning. And we've been fortunate enough to bump into a small group of elephants. So we've got the two that we can see in front of us, but we can hear trees behaving unnaturally all around us. I think OD showing through there, you can see through the bush, you can just see that one's tusk. Shows you how these huge animals can disappear. You can imagine when you're on a bushwalk, you've got to have all your senses on high alert. Oh, there's one coming right behind us here. The youngster busy enjoying a round leaf teak breakfast. That's so cool. Ooh, there's a nice bull's crossed the road. Jasmine, they do sleep, but not for long at all. You'll see sometimes they'll rest up against a tree with their forehead and kind of doze off for 20 minutes or half an hour. Sometimes I've seen big bulls like that one who's walking across the frame now, sort of rest on the side of a riverbank on their side. When they get very large, they don't like to lie down for long. And when there's young elephants with the herd, when they stop to rest, you'll see the whole herd will stop and wait for the young one to get up. Let's see what this gentleman has to say. But they don't sleep for long, sort of 20-minute to 30-minute little bouts. I wonder if he's going to loop around the side here, if he's just going to carry on. It's quite interesting there. He walked straight to that young female that was next to the car. He just had a sniff around her and then carried on. So maybe she had, I don't know, just come out of estrus. There's definitely something that he was interested in with her. Cornhusker, I'm not sure if you mean like apples or orange trees. Then we don't, but there are a lot of trees that bear natural fruit that the elephants will eat. So marulas are what they've known very well for. They love marula fruit. Sour plums, brown ivory fruit. There's a whole range of trees that'll fruit that the elephants love to eat. And you actually see them when those particular trees are flowering or fruiting, you'll see the bases of all of those trees are completely trampled from elephants literally just going from one tree to the next and eating all possible fruit that is on the tree. What is that young one doing? Just going to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. It is an awesome sound just to hear the elephants slowly feeding. There's some birds calling, so I'm just going to sit tight for a little bit. Let me try go forward a little bit, Owen. I'm just going to move forward a little bit so you're not staring at a bush when you could be looking at an elephant. Look at this one, right in this. It's sort of right in this clump here. Darcy, it certainly is a good way to start the day. Oh, there's some elephants making a lot of noise back off behind us. I'm just listening to it. There's one animal that does set elephants off a lot, and that's wild dogs. Elephants really don't like them. But I don't know, that sound that I'm hearing, I think it could be a male elephant harassing a female, but I might turn around just to go and see what's happening. It's funny, because the sounds are not disturbing these elephants at all. That's kind of what makes me think it's a inter-herd dispute rather than them shouting at the dogs, because if they were shouting at the wild dogs, it might spark these elephants off as well. But I'm going to go look anyway, just to satisfy my curiosity.
On board, we have a very special guest joining our live safari today. We have Sue Fogel, who has bought a ticket to Dream.
It was an easy decision to purchase a ticket to Dream because I've been working with animals for my whole life, and I think what WildEarth does here, bringing live safaris into your home, is just remarkable.
If you want to go on safari with a WildEarth guide, whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
Well, since I've been watching for such a long time, I thought it would be a good idea for me to come here in person.
Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and you could be making your first ever on-screen appearance.
If you have a chance to do it, I highly recommend it. To feel the sun on your face and the wind in your hair, and to smell the smells and just kind of be in the animal's presence. It's undescribable. I highly recommend it.
Across southern and East Africa, the Endangered Wildlife Trust works tirelessly to save species, protect critical habitats, and benefit people. Join the EWT in returning wildlife to the wild. Go to ewt.org.za to find out more and follow our socials to see how you can get involved. Protecting forever, together.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on WildEarth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Hello, boy. You are a monster. And he's coming right up to us. Hello, boy. Oh, settle down. Settle down. He is very, very close. He's pushing his trunk against the car. You can feel the car moving. Hey, 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 hey. Stop that.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Okay, so we've just turned around. Owen and I thought that they were maybe on this cut line, but they may be a bit further. So I'm just going to drive a little bit and then switch off and see if we can still hear them. That is the elephants, of course, so that's what I'm trying to figure out, why they were trumpeting so much. Oh, it's a horrible thing, this curiosity. So this road is actually close to the hyena den. So man, while we're here, maybe we should just prod our nostrils in. It'll be a good place to at least sit and listen. Odie and I was saying it's amazing how the sound travels. They've got a lot of different range of vocalizations, but that sort of loud trumpeting, it is kind of a distress, or if it's a warning, or if they're shouting at something. So like if it was the case of a male elephant chasing a female to try and mate, then she would be trumpeting to get away. Or if an elephant is now trumpeting at wild dogs, for example, to chase them away, it would kind of run at them and it's kind of shouting at them, go away. But it is amazing sounds. You know, someone once told me that the sounds from Jurassic Park were like slowed down or sped up sounds of elephants. And I think they did use some other animals. But it is an amazing sound when you hear an elephant trumpeting off in the distance. It does sound quite a lot like a T-Rex. We're here by the hyena den. I'm just going to have a quick look, but it doesn't look like there's anyone here. Oh, there is a bone. If you can see that, Odie. It looks like a hoof. Let's quick look. That is a zebra leg that they've been playing with and nibbling on. Is the bar right in the way?
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Yeah, there's a zebra leg down there, but we're going to leave because there's no one here. And I'm just going to go a little bit away from the den and then just switch off and listen. Let's see if we can hear something. Now it would be I think I'm just so hopeful that it's wild dogs. One day at a time. So the sound actually comes out of their voice box, but it will be then emitted and it comes out of their I was going to say trunk, but maybe I should go do a little bit of reading so that I don't tell you a lie. But yeah, so the sound is made sort of where the vocal cords would be down in the throat, and then it's emitted out. But I don't want to say one or the other. Let me do a bit of reading, and I will get back to you one day at a time. When I stop, if I get a gap, I'll check in any of my books that I've got if it's got exactly where that sound comes out of. I don't want to talk nonsense. What do you think, Odie?
I think it's a trunk.
Odie thinks it's a trunk. That is what I wanted to go with, but I just want to make double sure. I make it out of my mouth. We're going to try this loop, and you're going to head over to Phinda.
Welcome to a very windy morning at Phinda, everyone, and we've just found some giraffe. Looks like they're actually slowly moving through that wooded area and feeding as they go. I'm sure you'll probably be able to hear the wind blowing onto my microphone. There's been quite a big storm that's come through over the past day or two. But my name's Angus, and behind the camera today we have Johan. And thank you all for joining us on our live safari this morning. We got out a little bit late because of rain. At least we're able to find something this morning. Usually when it's very windy like this, it does make it a little bit more difficult, but of course anything's possible out here. That one giraffe was just staring at us for a moment or two. So they'll be very cautious animals, even though they're the biggest ungulate and the tallest animal in the world. They're still very careful and they have good eyesight, so they're able to spot things from quite far away, and it helps us find predators as well when they are staring all in one direction. Often if you see 10 giraffes staring at one point, it's a good indication that there could be something big and dangerous there. You can see how all the grasses and the trees are moving so much. It's very gusty here this morning. And the reason why I say it makes it a bit more difficult to find stuff is because animals usually try and stay hidden away and get out of the wind. And the reason for that is that they can't really pick up on any sounds around them because the sound of the wind in their ears is just too overpowering. So they'll try getting into a low-lying area or just try and hide and stick it out for the rest of the day. And I mentioned how giraffes are very in tune with the world around them and how they have very good eyesight. So I think even in this weather, animals are often a little bit more cautious because they don't have their sense of hearing so in tune like they usually would. They sometimes take a lot more time to look around them as they're moving around. If you look at that giraffe on the left-hand side, there it is. You can see it's feeding on a tree called a buffalo thorn. And that's a tree that you'll often see giraffes feeding off. It's quite nutritious. At this time of year, it also does have some fruit on it, which the giraffes will probably be trying to get to as well. But the amazing thing about it is they have very, very sharp hooked thorns. And look how easily and nimbly that giraffe is able to feed off of that tree. So you can see there's a few dead branches in between, but it'll definitely be focusing on the newer green leaves. And look how it moves its lips. It's very, very amazing how they're able to almost navigate those thorns with their lips and their tongue. So for now, we're going to keep driving around this area. We're not going to stray too far from home at the moment, and we're going to try and find a leopard. But for now, we're going to send you over to JP to say hello.
Good morning and welcome to WildEarth. We are live at Eco-Training Pridelands, and we started our walk a half an hour or so ago. It's still nice and chilly, so we decided to stop for a little break and have a cup of coffee in the meanwhile. So if you are at home, make yourself a nice little cup or coffee or tea, warm yourselves up and come and join us for the show this morning. So our plan is to start from here, do our little walk and see which tracks are coming in and out from the dam again as normal. And then depending on that, we will make a plan on which animals we will follow up on. The morning is nice and crisp over here. It's providing quite a lot of cloud cover at the moment. And we've got a possibility of rain coming in from the south. At least at the moment, the clouds combined with that sunrise is providing us with a spectacular backdrop. So I'm just going to be quiet for a few moments, allow you to listen to the sounds of nature and enjoy the sunrise and a cup of coffee or tea. And in the meanwhile, let's go and see what Lauren is up to.
We were sitting there quite some time, so we just thought we would loop around, not far, just a small loop around the quarantine Timbeta side, just to see if there's any hyenas or vultures or a carcass. They are very, very full. I just chatted to Rickson and they've definitely killed something big. I know Jonty saw a zebra leg. It could exactly be what they had. So then where's the rest of the carcass? I don't see any signs, so we came straight to the lions. We didn't actually search around for any sort of signs of a kill. But I know they appeared in the dam cam last night, and then of course the dam cam went down. I just wondered if maybe something is in the area. But vultures tend to follow lions, very keen eyesight, and they really do tend to sort of move with the lions, not directly above them. But if there's no vultures here, I don't see any hyena tracks, then we're not in the right location. Depends if they all had food. Now we're just pumping into the usual gangs. Hi guys. I think it's the same ones Jonty had earlier. If they all had food and they're all sort of full and satisfied and happy with full tummies, then not necessarily. But there's a lot of bodies there. And hello zebras. If they're not all full, then what that means is they absolutely could hunt again. But some of those bellies are bulging, which means they're not going anywhere. They've gorged themselves and now they're resting and digesting. But it's not the entire pride. There's some missing, so it's worth sort of just scratching around to see if anyone else is straggling behind. They may even start contact calling. But it's always just worth trying to look around and see if you can figure out the remaining pieces to the puzzle. Look at this youngster, this foal. But those ones that are full, they're not going anywhere. We are going to head straight back to them, don't worry. I just wondered if we could try and figure out what happened last night. And I mean, zebras are a substantial meal. Maybe not the foal here, but they are very large animals. So they're not as big as a buffalo naturally, but that would provide a decent enough meal for the entire pride. We could hear Impala's alarm calling as well, so they've either spotted the lions and thought, whoa, there's lions there, or there's something else. Kimberley, not really. They're not known to eat the bones. They may crunch through a bone and absolutely swallow some bones, but they're not sort of known as the bone crushers like hyenas. They will leave most of the skeleton behind. But they will crunch through the skull, for example, to get to various different soft tissue inside. You can hear them crunching through, but they're not really trying to eat the bone. But they will swallow some, and that's good with regards to, that's where they'll get their calcium. It's amazing the different parts of an animal's body which holds different nutrients, different minerals. So they'll eat different parts of the body, which means they can reach their sort of nutritional levels. I think we're just going to keep bumbling through quarantine, Darren. Just see. Doing my detective work. I'm watching a detective series on Netflix right now. I'm hooked. I'm literally hooked, so now I feel like I'm a detective. I think I've learned enough to join the squad, so I'm going to put my detective eyes on now. A little panic moment from the zebra, and see if I can figure out what went on. Okay, we're just going to look back around for the lions now. I haven't seen anything so far. Detective work is ongoing. We're going to send you over to Jonty.
I think we have found, or we did find, a big piece of what Lauren's looking for. That zebra leg that's at the hyena den looked pretty fresh. So I would think that those lions ate a zebra last night. But we've looped back around. We're back with this group of elephants. We couldn't find the others that were trumpeting. But I did have a quick look one day at a time. So a lot of the elephant vocal sounds are made in the larynx, and then the trumpet is out of the trunk. So I suppose if you had to purse your lips together and push air out, keep your lips as tight as possible, that's as close to the sound as we can get to trumpeting. I've never been very good at it. I'm not a good elephant. A friend of mine, AD, he could make that sound so well. So jealous. Let's follow these elephants up the road. That's the only way I can make it. So I hope everybody at home is trying. Please film yourself trying and send us some footage of everybody trumpeting at home. Could do a trumpeting reel. It does look like most of this herd has gone off onto the left-hand side of the road. But fortunately, these two are still providing us with the bum show. So we do have a bit of an added interference today. The bars from the roof making vehicle positioning slightly or legendary. Yeah, Heather, all of my teachers at school always said the class clown, trying to make silly sounds. So I suppose that's what let me go on to become a guide, where trying to make animal sounds is normal, I suppose. always look so funny from behind. Looks like they're wearing pants that are too big. Or trousers, sorry, I should say. Trousers that are too big. I got in a lot of trouble because in South Africa, we refer pants are anything that go over your legs. Longs, could be long pants or short pants. And when I finished school in England, and I told someone that I had a hole in my pants.
I look at Djuma Pride.
Sorry, that radio. I said I had a hole in my pants, meaning my school trousers, and in the UK, pants are underpants. So everyone was a bit shocked that I thought I was talking about my underpants. A bit of a cultural shock. So I'm just turning the radio down. Someone giving an update. So sometimes what you'll see, this calf is old enough that it's using its trunk quite well, relatively well, but sometimes you'll see the mothers will actually break a branch and give it to the youngster to feed on, and then the mom will carry on feeding. When the youngster's finished that branch, the mom will break another one and give it to the youngster. And they've even been seen when the youngsters are a bit unruly, they'll give them a bit of a whack with the branch. As they move off, I'm going to try go a little bit closer.
Welcome back, everyone, and we are just searching this very thickly wooded area. I mentioned earlier how I wanted to try and go look for a leopard. So this is just a place where we know one's been hanging around. I don't know if you've seen some of the recent broadcasts of Nyoni female and her cubs. So this is where they have been. It's not the perfect conditions, but sometimes it's definitely just worth a little stab in the dark. You can see around us that it's very thick around us, which is perfect for a predator like a leopard because they are ambush predators, so they'll like it when they can get as close to a prey animal as possible, as well as there's lots of trees for them to stay hidden and escape in if they need to. There's animals like Ngala that hang around in these wooded areas. Kudu also, but they might be a little bit too big, especially the adults for a female leopard and little cubs. We're going through a lovely grove of tamboti trees, which are actually quite common trees here in Zululand, but I know in other areas of South Africa, well, they're actually regarded as an endangered tree in South Africa, so it's special to have quite a few of them here on Phinda.
The Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, WESA, encourages people to care for the earth. Through innovative projects, they aim to reverse the serious issues that we face in the world today. One of these projects is Green Coast, a proudly South African award for sensitive and well-managed coastal sites. This sustainability project protects our national coastlines while providing unemployed youth with a love for their environment and a hope for the future. WESA is a membership and volunteer-supported organisation. Every supporter is helping to change the only earth we have. Visit our website to see how you can help care for our earth.
I love being a cam up for WildEarth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
Guys, just watch what's happening. See, watch the elephant, watch the lions. See, the first ones to run are the cubs. Can you see them? They are right here. I'm not sure how scared you were, but I was quite nervous. But absolutely incredible.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Welcome back. Not much change so far. We just going to keep driving around here. And then eventually maybe try something else when we've looked for long enough. But sometimes in the bush looking for animals is all about patience, especially if you think you're in the right area. It's just about taking it slow, sometimes turning off to try and see if you can hear anything. So often, when I have been able to find animals, you'll just be dead still looking at a bird, for example. And then you'll hear something, and that'll really give you a good indication that something's close by, or you might hear an alarm call. Today is not really that type of day. I mentioned it with those giraffes earlier, that they can't really hear so well when the wind is blowing so much. And of course the same goes for us. So you might just have to rely on just bumping into them on the road. It's lovely how the terrain changes as we're going. So I don't know if you noticed, the soil was quite sandy earlier. So because of the proximity to the ocean here at Phinda, over a period of many, many years, these areas have been exposed to the ocean and sea sand has been deposited here in certain areas, especially the lower lying places. And we're also quite close to the Lebombo Mountains. So in some places the reserve is very rocky too. So we're going to keep looking. But for now, I think we'll send you over to an established sighting over with Lauren, who has found some lions.
We're back with the lions. Couldn't really find any signs of anything, to be honest. Lots of hyena tracks, drag marks, carcass, vulture. But are you ready for the next update, everyone? Guess who else is on Djuma? The Nkuhumas have been found. Can you believe it? I imagine Jonty's going to head there. So we have the Talamatis here, well, not all of them, at Gowrie Dam. And the Nkuhumas have been called in just north of Gowrie, Maine. Really not too far away, I mean, just east of Twin Dams, if you like. So both prides are on Djuma. I'm not saying any interaction is going to happen, I'm just saying that's really quite amazing. Sometimes we go days and days and days without any lion action whatsoever. And now we've got these fat cats and the other cats. I think it's the Nkuhumas that's been called in as the Nkuhumas, but that's really, really quite amazing that you get both prides on the same day, on the same property. And Djuma's such a wonderful property, really. I mean, yes, we do drive loops and loops, sometimes not seeing anything and just driving ourselves crazy. But it really, really delivers. It's 1,200 hectares, Djuma, and it's sort of square shape, if you like. Whereas Buffalo's Hook is much larger and it's more rectangle. And Djuma really, really delivers. So Jonty said the zebra leg was quite fresh. So I imagine that is exactly what the lions had last night. And of course, zebra have been on quarantine the past few days, so that would make sense. I just don't know where the rest of the zebra is. And going back to that question about will they hunt, there's only 2 sub-adults who I've noticed have not got these bulging dummies. So I don't think they're going to do anything much today. Their tummies are swaying from side to side as they move. So hopefully we'll have 2 prides of lions for you on today's show. But I'm not saying they're going to interact. They're not. Animals avoid confrontation, really. And they are far enough away from one another. That's really not what I'm getting at. I just think it's quite incredible that they're both on the same property. And for those of you that are possibly new to WildEarth, the Talamati Pride actually broke away from the Nkuhuma Pride in 2008. So that was a very long time ago, 13 years ago. But there's a distant connection. And when lionesses break away, that's normally when the pride sort of gets too big, sort of a little bit unsustainable. That will differ depending on the area, depending on the individuals themselves. But once a social unit, be it a herd, a pod, a pride, whatever you want to call it, gets a little bit too big, there will be breakaways. And the Talamatis did break away from the Nkuhumas. And they will be very, very familiar with one another, not through sight, not through sound, possibly through their audio when they call, but mostly through chemicals. They will recognize the pride's unique chemical signature, without a doubt. Imagine if humans recognized each other through chemical signature. I don't mean sniffing each other's pee-pee, but I mean just smelling each other. And that's how you recognized your fellow humans, through their unique sort of chemical signature. Okay, so I'm sure Jonty is going to head to the Nkuhumas, but right now he's sitting with the elephants.
We are still with this elephant cow. The rain has started falling again. It's a bit of a bummer. Luckily we do have the roof on. I think we're going to let them walk off into the distance, and we're going to carry on. We'll leave them to their day. We just had a report on the radio that the Nkuhuma Pride has been located. So we would love to head over and see what they are doing. So that's our plan for now. And we've got a bit of, not too much ground to cover, but little ways to get there. We start wondering, what have they been up to? Are they well fed? Are they not well fed? Sort of what has been going on with them in the last sort of few days since we've seen them. Because the last time I saw them, they were actually looking a little bit lean. So I wonder if they've, in this time, if they've managed to catch and eat something. I hope they have, for their sake. After sitting still for a while with the elephants, you forget that it's still chilly. Now when we're driving, the wind chill on the old fingertips. It's definitely something. Let me just put the old map location on. I don't think so. They're quite far apart. So this pride, the Djuma Pride, is close to, it sounds like they're close to twin dams, which is quite far from where the other ones are. So I don't think they can smell one another from where they are. But if they were closer, then yeah, definitely they would pick up the smell of the others. We're kind of going the quickest route. We're going to head on to the boundary and then drive to where they were. Yeah, lions are very territorial, so if they smell other lions are in their territory, they will definitely follow up, especially if it's fresh, and they'll want to push them right out of their territory. And, you know, the males are obviously very aggressive towards each other, but lionesses can be very, very potent at protecting their patch of land. Because you could imagine, for them to have a secure piece of land that's got good water, good grazing for prey, you know, that's like a gold mine. So they'll defend that fiercely. So while we carry on heading towards the Nkuhumas, you're going to head over to Pridelands.
Good morning and welcome back on Bushwalk. At the moment we're still at Ndlovu Dam, just waiting for animals to come in. As it's quite windy, we don't really want to go and walk, as it can get us into trouble as animals can't hear and smell us. But we've just had a giraffe that's coming in to drink. Let's watch and see what she gets up to. Seems like a female, if I can have a look from a distance. One of the things that you'll notice is that when they do come in to come and drink, they're incredibly cautious of what's going on around them. Now you can see how she's splitting in a 45-degree angle with her front legs so that she can reach water. Now with the wind, she's extra cautious this morning. Just not getting quite comfortable. I just love watching giraffes drink. It's amazing how they can split their legs like that and then how they throw their heads back up. Especially one of the things I like to always try and get on a photo is to see when the head comes up as this little drops of water that gets splashed away from the head. Especially when we have strong wind like this, most animals are incredibly cautious of what's going on, as that they can't hear and smell. So while And what we often find on cold, windy days like this is that they'll actually expose themselves to cold wind rather by lying in an open area than to be in thick vegetation. Even lions will do this, and it's just a strategy that even if you think of it, that a big animal that doesn't have a lot of other threats, they still have threats in terms of other lions potentially coming into that area. And they don't want to be caught off guard either by any form of competitors trying to take over their territories. Let's come back to the giraffe and see what she's getting up to. So for first-time visitors that don't know the difference between male and females, we quite often point that out. One of the things that we can always look at is the little horn-like structures on top of the head, which is known as ossicones. The females have got little black paintbrush-like tips, so does the young males. And then the older mature bulls, they've got little bald spots on top of there. Generally, we also find that males are much thicker necked, while you can see this female has quite a nice thin neck. And we'll also see that they're generally darker when it comes to males. And this is an exception where the female is actually a little bit darker. As we watch her and see what she gets up to, we're going to hand you over to Deirdre that would like to say hello.
Good morning from a very, very cold Tswalu. It's me, Deirdre, and BK on camera, and we feel like we have frostbite. The temperature says 3 degrees, which is like 37 Fahrenheit. Real feel, that's the key word, is 0. So a very icy wind blowing. It's effectively like somebody's opened the freezer and there's a fan blowing out of the freezer because, there's not much talking happening between me and BK this morning because everything's too cold to move. But this is one of my favorite spots at Tswalu because it's a full 360-degree view of Tswalu, just the beautiful, beautiful Karaneberg mountain range. We do sort of have a plan this morning, is to follow up on some lions. So we'll see how we go from there. They're in there somewhere. So while we carry on our pursuit of lions, we are going to send you across to Eric that also wants to say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to andBeyond Ngala. My name is Eric, and behind camera we've got Mpho today. As you can see, we're both gloved up. I'm sure everybody's told you that it's feeling pretty wintry fresh today. So we have decided to come down towards the river. I think it's one of my go-to places when we're looking for animals, just because it tends to be, especially in the winter time, where these animals congregate a lot. So we're heading here, and instead of driving in it, we'll cross it this morning and head towards an old airstrip of ours, and then from that point head towards a big waterhole that's in the eastern section of the reserve. Again, listening to the radio, we're just trying to spread ourselves out and cover as much ground as we possibly can, and that's an area that hasn't been checked this morning. So we're going into an area to just bumble, explore, see if we can find anything interesting this morning. You can see, we have only just managed to get out. We've had a little bit of rain this morning, but it seems like it's stopped and it is clearing. So hopefully it stays like that for the remainder of the show. So yeah, we'll see. I'm about 30 seconds away from this big open clearing. And we should see what's out there. Maybe a whole group of animals that are huddling up. So whilst I get there, let's send you across to Angus and say good morning.
Welcome back, and I was just about to say what a peaceful scene that we've got here, but it just seemed to have erupted about a minute ago. You can see there are still some impala running around. There's a couple of herds here, so that what look like a bachelor herd of males, as well as another big herd of females and the youngsters, as well as the dominant ram within that herd. And with that dominant ram and that herd of females being so close to the other bachelor herd, there's often a little bit of pushing and shoving that has to go on before all the impalas can relax totally. So that dominant male won't want any of the males from that bachelor herd to try and interact with the females within his herd. Some zebras as well in the area, and a wildebeest. So these big herds of herbivores won't mind hanging around together when their hearing won't be so good on a day like today. Notice the coats of the impala are not very shiny and sleek today, so they're all puffed out to try and increase the distance between their skin and the outside air, and that'll help insulate them and keep them warmer. Sometimes with impala this would happen. They'll have a few moments of absolute chaos, and then everything will seem to calm down again, until maybe one of the males would get a little bit too close, and then things would erupt again. Strange actually to see most of them have their heads down, which is not what I'd imagine they should be doing at this moment when they can't hear anything. Don't know if you can all hear the wind through the mic. To answer now, I'd really be guessing, but I'd say probably the zebra, because they usually live in smaller groups, and I think the impala probably wouldn't need as good hearing because they're always in big groups of impala, so they'd probably rely on the combined strength of all of their ears and all of their eyes, whereas zebras usually live in little groups of about 6 to 8 animals. So that is a total guess, Lily, but that's what I think. See, there are some males running around again now, a little bit of argy-bargy going on. It all seems a little bit silly from here sometimes. Notice how they're not even really moving their tails much, they're keeping them all tucked away. So I'd imagine there won't be any insects or flies bothering them at the moment. And they'll just tuck their tails in to try and stop the warmth from getting out anywhere. I think every little piece of energy counts here. And at the end of the day, heat is energy. So if they were to lose heat, that is food that they'd have to consume. And we're going into the dry season where there won't be too much around. A lot of life out here in the bush is about staying efficient and using as little energy as possible. And when there's energy available or food available, it's important to try and get at it. See, the wildebeest is just laying down now. So that is a lone wildebeest. It's likely a dominant male or territorial male. There he is, just on the left of your shot. So the females and youngsters like the impala will live in bigger herds, and you will find bachelor herds of the males as well.
Helping kids to fall in love with nature is critical. Our future depends on it. WildEarth has had the opportunity to take many children from all over the world on safari, some from right here on our doorstep.
Welcome to those of you watching from Hananani Primary School, just outside Dixie Village.
They love learning about nature because, you know, now we're having like a crisis of like rhino poaching. We all need each other. So it is very, very important for the kids to learn about animals, on how to save them or even to protect them.
My favorite animal is an elephant because they are very cute, although they're eating the trees or the plants, but they are still very cute to me.
The way they explained the animals, asking questions, and we saw our names on the screen, it was so exciting.
Take 27. I'm Carol from Chicago, USA. This is me 5 years ago. No music, no editing, real time. I was hooked. Thank you so much for that, WildEarth.
I had lost my job, and I also lost one of my pets. So WildEarth has seen me through very hard times, and I just want to thank all of you for being there for me when I needed you most.
We love you. We start and end our day with you, teaching our grandkids all about nature through you, your wonderful educational safaris.
We really do appreciate being on safari with you, especially when it's cold and wintry in Canada.
And considering we've been in lockdown for 18 months here in Saudi and have not been able to fly back to South Africa, I want to thank you for bringing your safari back into my life every single day and night. I love it, love it, love it.
My name is Lauren and I'm currently working in Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. I love answering your questions during the live safaris. It's my favorite part. It feels like you're on the vehicle with me and I'm able to teach you exactly what you want to know. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, you must go to the live safari page and ask your question below the live feed.
Good morning and welcome back to Bushwalk. The reason why we're laughing so much is we just had to cover quite a little bit of a distance to get a better view for you on the giraffe as they have constantly been moving. There's a whole journey of approximately 5 of them that's coming down to come and drink. And every time that we thought that we had a great shot for you, then they move behind the vegetation. Let's just see where they move towards. There's a really tiny one in that group that I would like to show to you. We've got some zebras. There's also some zebras coming in. Let's just hope that they also going to come into the open and come and show themselves. So, most of you know a collective noun for a giraffe is generally referred to as a journey or a tower of giraffe. However, when we do look at the social structure of giraffe, they actually have none. They come and go as they please, and generally when they do associate with one another, it's purely because of good quality feeding in that area. And sometimes also when there's a large number of young around, the young has some form of fascination with one another, and then they start these little nursery herds. The bulls itself, they just come and go as what they want, and they just generally will associate with females and estrus, and you'll sometimes see a number of bulls actually following that female. Really nice to see the zebras coming in. For those of you that are first-time viewers, there's a species that we have over here is known as a plains zebra. sometimes incorrectly referred to as a Birchall zebra. This, for those that are interested in the name Birchall. Birchall was actually a famous naturalist and explorer in southern Africa, and he was also the man that was responsible for describing the southern white rhino for the first time. And we also have a second species of zebra that we have in South Africa, which is known as a mountain zebra. So if you do go over to Deirdre a little bit later in Tswalu, you might be lucky, and she might be able to show you a Hartmann's mountain zebra. So one of the ways that they differ, you'll notice that with a plain zebra, the stripes actually goes underneath the belly, while with a mountain zebra, they've got a pure white belly. And then there's a faint little black line on the white band as well, which we'll see here with the plain zebra, which the mountain zebras don't display. Quite like zebras, fascinating creatures. In terms of their social structure, very different. This is generally referred to as a harem, although the collective noun is a dazzle. So a harem is a single male with several females and associated young that will be in that group. But we also have bachelor herds, where it's all male groups of young males that are no longer associating with that group, but also hasn't been able to get their own females yet. Generally, when it comes to competing for females, the fighting between male zebras can become quite intense, and I've seen some serious blows and kicks being aimed at one another when it does come to fighting. Both zebra as well as giraffe has got incredibly powerful kicks, and their feet is very well used as weapons. We're just going to watch these guys a bit longer, and then meanwhile, let's go and see what Deirdre is up to.
So, JP, challenge accepted. I will try and see if I can find you a mountain zebra. And what we have found is a steenbok. And I think this steenbok's as cold as we are, because it is a typical resting position to put their ears flat like that. So I know Angus was talking about hearing. Steenbok have also got relatively large ears, but that is also an area that you can then lose heat from. So on a morning like today, when it's exceptionally cold, it's much better to put your ears flat down on the base of the head, and it also makes them look like a stone, which is hence the name a steenbok. So a stone buck. They lie pretty flat like that. So what gave this one away is the fact that the other one, the partner, dashed off, and this one hasn't moved since. So she's also a little bit cold this morning. A beautiful little black triangle on the nose. Lucy's asking the question, how big do they get? So this is an adult. This is an adult female, and probably no more than 10, 11 kilograms in weight. So they are very, very small antelope. And only recently have I actually seen a small steenbok, a baby steenbok, for the first time in my career. They very, very well hidden. And it was the pair were standing next to each other, and the baby dashed off, and they didn't know what to do, and they just stood there, and the baby dashed off and went and hid in a thicket. And that was the first baby steenbok I'd seen. Oh, no, now she's thinking, now she's... we've been here a while now, so now she's probably deciding, does she need to dash off or not? But you can see how they hold their ears flat against the side of their head there. Oh, I've just heard a lion cub. Did you hear that? Yeah. We're going to go and investigate. I just heard what sounded like a lion cub. I don't know where. We're going to go and have a look. I just heard, ow. And that's exactly what the steenbok heard. So we must be somewhere close. She has dashed off now. It was a good idea. But it's just as well we were stopped. We wouldn't have heard that while we were driving. So we're going to send you in the meantime to Jonty, who's found his lions, and hopefully we'll have some little ones for you.
Good luck, Deirdre. We have managed to join up with where these Djuma Pride are lying down, and they are fast asleep. They all look very well fed. That one's half got its eyes open. It's a young male. You can see all of them. I don't know if you can make out on the screen, but they've all got tinges of red around their sort of necks and faces, some on their paws. So I do think they ate something last night. I'm not sure what. But they are full and happy. That you can see tinges of red there. They haven't even got to the part where they groom each other. So often after a kill, they'll kind of just sleep. And then the next time they start getting active, they'll start grooming one another and make themselves clean again. Yeah, you can see that red there. Eh? Look at that. Heads, feet, tail, paws. Like a big jumble. You're going to hear a vehicle starting now. They're just leaving these lions. See how some of them pick up their heads to watch the vehicle leaving. Yeah, their eyes are beautiful. I think these ones have got really sort of darkish colour eyes. They really are beautiful. Heather, they seem a bit more uniform than people. People seem to have a much wider range of colour. But I have seen lions with sort of varying shades of amber to orange. Some have almost a clearer, like closer to a yellow. You definitely do see slightly different shades of their eye colour. That young male at the back, I don't know if the grass is blocking it, but he's got a fresh cut right on his snout. So you even see his eyes compared to the one that we just saw. Oh, wow. Thanks, pal. But you could see his eyes were slightly more yellowish than the one we just saw. But you can see that cut on his face. That's more than likely from one of the other Pride members while they were feeding. You know, they get really aggressive and they all want to put their mouth where the other ones are eating. And so they'll often be hitting each other with their paws while they refuse to let go of any of the meat that they've got in their mouth. And a lot of their scratches on their faces are actually from each other. He's showing us nicely the colour of his eyes. And I'm pretty sure that is what these lions are going to be doing the whole day. You can even see the grass around where they are. It's pretty flat already, so I think they've been here from whenever they finished what they were eating. You've made like a big old mattress here. We're going to sit here for a little bit. You're going to head over to Phinda and see some giraffes having a dust up.
Welcome back to a glorious day at Phinda. And we've managed to find something interesting this morning. Here's a couple of male giraffe doing what we call necking. So this is a process by which males will compete with each other. If there were a female and estrus close by and they were a similar size, this would then determine which one would get the prize, basically. But from the size of these giraffe, I don't think this is a very serious bout of necking. They look like they're quite young. From having a close look at their bodies, there's not too many marks or scratches on them. As giraffes, or all animals basically get older, you actually see their skin starts to deteriorate and they have quite a few scars on them. And just judging by the size of these two, I think they're not very, very old males, which would usually be the dominant ones in an area. So just like when lion cubs would stalk other lion cubs in the pride, this is about gaining skills for when these giraffes will be older. See, they spend a lot of time just leaning into each other, but like a rugby scrum in a way. And when they do try and hit each other, it'll be with the ends of their horns on their heads, and they'll try and aim it, there we go, just normally on that front shoulder of the other giraffe. And I think that pushing and shoving is just about trying to maneuver and get themselves in a position where they're able to hit the other giraffe in the right place. You can imagine it's quite difficult to get into the right spot, so you can then have a good angle to hit your opponent. Oh, a big miss from the one closest to us. Just went flying over the top. It's a bit like a boxing match, eh? I think that darker one looks like it is a little bit bigger, and it seems to be pushing the other one around quite a lot. So this is on the airstrip at Phinda, so they've got quite a lot of room to move around. They do sometimes fall over, Janet. And I don't think it's easy for them to get up at all. But I doubt we'll see these two fall over. Whoa! Especially by how many times they miss. So I've seen it happen with bigger, mature giraffes very, very competitively. And you'll even hear big, loud thuds when they do make contact with one another. You can see how they've stopped now, which is also another indication that they're just learning the ropes a little bit. So there are another couple giraffes over here at the moment. And these two looks like they might be part of a little bachelor herd of them. Shows that they won't be very dominant territorial bulls. Look at these two chewing. So I haven't seen them near a tree the whole time we've been here, basically. So if we have a look at them, I think they are re-chewing the cud. So food that they've partially digested already. So if we do get a chance, try and watch this one chewing, and it's likely to swallow that cud ball and then send another one up its neck. So when ruminants aren't feeding like this, they often spend their time... Oh, there goes. Now, look, watch the neck for another one coming back up. Very, very cool. I always love watching that. So I was saying how when they don't have, well, when they're not feeding, they'll spend their time just re-chewing some of the food that they'd eaten earlier and trying to re-digest it. And giraffes are the biggest animals in the world that do that. So we are going to keep going, but we'll send you over to John T and his lions.
Good luck, Angus. We've had a little bit of movement. One of the lions has lifted its head up. What's incredible is that to the right of that lion, by like 2 meters, there's another lion that's barely visible. Look at that. That is crazy. The camouflage is so good. When I first got here, I didn't actually even see that one, because it hasn't moved a muscle. Also, I've got a different angle. I don't see the head so well from where I'm sitting. I said it the other day when the other lions were lying, I think it was the Talamatis were lying by the dam cam. When lions are like this, you know, their whole life, I can't imagine they're even thinking about one thing. They're well fed, they're safe, they don't need to do anything. It's literally like the best time for them right now. But yeah, I really don't think there's going to be too much more action here. I think we'll give them a few more minutes and then we'll probably carry on and leave them here to sleep away their meal. There's a man called Graham Verkale who was very much involved with my training as a guide, and he always said, whenever you want to leave, just stay for 5 more minutes and see what happens. And it's often boded well. So while we wait our 5 more minutes, you're going to head back to Phinda with some giraffe and zebra.
Welcome back, and now there seem to be 4 giraffe all necking, as well as a herd of zebra that's just stepped out onto the airstrip. We are about to keep going, And then we thought, we'll just let them all pass off in front of us. I wonder if they'll swap around and take turns fighting different giraffes. You can see how some of the zebra are also standing very close together. And it looks like they nicely huddled together to try and stay warm. Wow, this is quite interesting. So the two on the right are the two that we were watching earlier. Oh, there was a good hit from that lighter one on the right-hand side. You can see how they are just sizing each other up, those two on the left. Definitely like a boxing match. Taking some of the early time to feel your opponent and see where the best place to be is. Jerome, yes, nicking can become fatal. So I've sometimes seen it when even the giraffe, that if they hit another one in the wrong place, they can give themselves a concussion and knock themselves out. They can break legs. So yes, it's not very often that it would become fatal. So usually most of the disputes out here in nature are governed by the biggest animal will get preference. And if they're a similar size, is only when they'll really compete properly. So they try and do it as little as possible, but I'm sure there are times when they would neck very, very seriously, and that's some of the occasions when it can become fatal. But it is a really, really cool thing to watch. It's almost like a dance in a way, how they move around each other so elegantly. And it's amazing to see these animals that are over 4 meters tall. And these will all weigh well over 800 kilograms, probably in the region of around 1,000 kilograms. And we're able to just sit here and watch them have a good go at each other. Look at these two trying to get into the right spot. Circling and circling. Who's going to make the first move? He tried there. I think these two do look a bit bigger, and they seem to actually know what they're doing a fair bit more than the other two do. See, that one always seems to try and direct his blows towards the back legs. Yes, Darcy, this is amazing. It's not often that you get to see a group of 4, 2 little fights in one place. Or big fights, I'd say. Good chance to see the color variation in giraffe as well. this is also a reason why, if you notice with male giraffes, a difference between them and the females, they have an extra bony plate that sometimes protrudes a little bit on their forehead between their eyes. And I think that would also just be a little bit of extra protection for them when they are doing things like this. Could see that one kind of knew it was coming and managed to move just enough to stop the other one from trying to finish or go through with that blow. And there's some just more and more maneuvering going on, sizing up the other one. And it's awesome in a way that they've come off here to the airstrip in an open area where we can see them and where they can have freedom to move around, and it's like a boxing ring basically. A big 1.5 kilometer long boxing ring. See, that lighter one often seems to try and actually hit the head of the other giraffe. Which is also another reason why I suppose this could become fatal. If we were to hit the other one on, say, the back of the head, with all that force with the animal with the longest neck in the world, you can imagine how much power that will have behind it. Wow, this is really, really special to see.
The annual Safari Guide of the Year competition aims to create awareness for those men and women who dedicate their lives to tourism and wildlife. This year's event will be held at Marataba, a breathtaking privately managed section of the Marakele National Park in South Africa's Limpopo province. In celebration of this, WildEarth and Marataba Luxury Lodges are offering all explorers a chance to win a 3-night stay at Marataba Safari Lodge for you and a friend. In addition to a spectacular land-based safari, Marataba Luxury Lodges offer an opportunity for guests to cruise peacefully along the Matlabas River, watching the animals as they drink and wallow. The lodge offers you a chance to lie by the pool or enjoy a spa treatment, and one night could be spent sleeping out under the stars in a luxurious treehouse. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 30th of June, and it could be you heading off on a long-awaited getaway. WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature. For many years, WildEarth has taken viewers from around the world to the Mara Triangle, a place of majestic beauty and abundant wildlife. But it wasn't always like this. Before 2001, it was infested with poachers. Illegal harvesting and hunting was rife. Now the situation couldn't be more different. The hard work and dedication of the Mara Conservancy has revolutionized this magical land. But now, the loss of revenue from tourism has created a grave crisis. The Mara Conservancy needs help if they are to continue protecting the reserve and supporting the local communities whose livelihood depend on its survival.
It's a huge privilege to be in these incredible places with these amazing animals. I love filming lions. When they do get up and do something, it's always spectacular. When they are playing, are incredibly fun to watch, especially sabals and cubs. I love being in the bush and working in these incredible places with these amazing animals. We want to bring it to you so that you can almost feel like you're right there and be able to experience it and enjoy it the way we.
That was a guinea fowl that just left the tree. They've actually just shows you how cold it was this morning because they were still sitting in the sun on top of the trees, and they've only started to move now. Go forward, they were just flying to other trees a little bit further away. But they all seem to have gone. So the flocks of guinea fowl here have been incredibly successful over this last time frame because of the sheer abundance of insects. So our flocks of guinea fowl, they can sort of sit on anywhere between sort of 14, 16 eggs at a time, and all the flocks are literally exploded in numbers. So they were definitely still relatively cold this morning. Things here are still relatively cold. There's not much moving. We're still in pursuit of our lions, so we don't exactly know what we heard. It sounded like a lion cub, but we drove the block, we looked at all the thickets and didn't find anything that even resembled a lion. So we have seen some tracks here now near the water, so we're just going to keep heading in the general direction of where the tracks took us, and we see from there. Ooh. So it sounds like Lauren has some lions. I'm going to send you across there.
We have 3 members here, 2 sabaros and an adult. Extremely interested in the male water bug behind us. I don't think we're going to be able to give you a view. He's literally behind the car.
Give it a go.
He, I think, sees the lions. No. Darren's going to give it a go. Very ambitious, Daza. Okay, we're going to send you over to Jokti.
So we just left those sleeping lions, and one of the other vehicles has found Marips, who's now hiding from us. But he's literally not far from those lions in a straight line. He was walking towards that dead tree that's in the base. I'm just going to give him a couple of seconds. If he doesn't pop out, then I'll reposition the car. But what I'm really hoping, what we just saw on the way here, is an African hawk eagle not far away, busy feeding on a guinea fowl. And if Marips sees that or smells it, he'll definitely go and try and get a snack. Oh, there he is there. He's actually stalking something towards us here. Can you get him there, huh? I did see the way he's looking. He's very intent. At this age, hunting birds on the ground will take up a lot of his time, perfecting the art of stalking. You can see how carefully he puts down his paws. I don't want to reverse now because he's just behind this bush. We're just going to head over to Lauren. She's got some lions that are hunting.
Talamatis are up. They're after that water buck. 3 of them are up. In absolutely frozen statue position. We're sorry about the rain roof, everyone. I don't really know how to position. We can't block the hunt. Lines all around us. 3 of them are showing interest. Are we able to get the water buck, Darren, or have I really positioned in the most? Yes, I have. He's relaxed. How can this be? Mr. Waterbuck. Do you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to quickly reposition because I don't feel that this is... I can't block the lions if they are interested in this hunt. So what we're going to do is just completely get out of the area. That's another one up. Okay, we've got 4 lions up. And we're going to watch from far away. Predators can use a vehicle sometimes as undercover, but you can't block their vision. So, I really don't know how to do this. Can you get any view of these lions from here? Okay, let me just try and stay here. Got one up here, and they're looking directly at this water buck. But he can see them, surely. Oh, he's up. He's all of a sudden just realized he's being watched. He's thinking, wow, I made the wrong decision in that place to nap. She's moving in, she's moving in. He doesn't see her. One of the sub-adults is moving in. You see her, Darren? She's using this tree. But the impala are being vocal. Well, there goes your answer to that question. I can't remember who asked it, but earlier on in the drive we were asked, will they hunt again? Well, they're definitely trying. This female here at the front knows this tree blocks her. She has that cognitive ability to know he's got to close the distance. This waterbuck has now seen them, but he's only just spotted them. He's a big animal. He's standing his ground. He's looking at them. He's only just realised that he chose to lay down and nap right next to the Talamatis. So that means that everybody's tummies are not full. This is happening right in front of the lodge, by the way. In case any of you are wondering what that fence is, we're right in front of Wildebeest Lodge. The lions now know that they've been seen and they've not got the full cooperation of everybody. Some of the lionesses are still on their back with their bellies bulging. It's the young sub-adults that are still hungry. They maybe didn't get enough of the zebra or whatever last night's dinner was. It's this female at the back here, Darren. She's the one that's really, really after this waterbuck. Rooibos, I know, the focus, that gaze. Lions are remarkably patient. They know, just like leopards. They can't just bombard and chase, and they've got to ambush, stay hidden, approach with caution. And they are in an open clearing, which is going to work against them. And they happen to be surrounded by a lot of impala. But when that waterbuck first sat down, he did not know the lions were here. He's only just realised. That's the waterbuck snorting. Impalas are snorting in the background. They're the faint ones. And then the waterbuck's making that loud. I can't actually do that sound. He's now facing the other direction, Darren. Look, I wonder if... He's now turned his back to these lions. He's aware that they could have him surrounded. They don't. He's a beautiful boy. Standing his ground, that's for sure. Jackie, I think he's doing the right thing. He's standing his ground. He's standing there saying, hey, Talamatis, I have seen you. I know you're there eventually, may I might add. And you have no chance, there we go, of ambushing me or surprising me. I'm a big, big waterbuck. There's a female in the background there as well, Darren. Do you see her? She's also snorting. And they've all gone flat. They're watching very intently, but they've gone flat. So I think turning around and running is probably the worst thing this male could do. This creates sort of panic, which would give the lions an advantage. Whereas by him standing his ground, he's doing the right thing. They've all gone flat. They know. He's seen us. He put on his spectacles and now he sees us. Feel the tension in the air, hungry sub-adults. Everyone's got their head up now. The female's coming to see what's going on, you see that? Talamatis have gone flat. The sub-adults are notorious for taking every chance they can get. 2 of them are still hungry. The female waterbucks now walked right up to the thread, look. Lily Pond, you're asking, are female hunters better? Are female lions better hunters? Sorry. I wouldn't say they're better hunters, not necessarily. They're both great hunters. Male lions have a bit of a reputation for sort of relying on the females, then coming in and stealing the kill, which does happen. But don't underestimate a male lion. They can absolutely hunt. They're powerful, they're huge, they're also silent on their feet. Oh. What is this boy doing? There's lots of lions around. He's doing a Fleming grimace. I wouldn't recommend any canoodling right now, lady and gent. Lionesses work cooperatively. They're also extremely powerful, large animals, silent on their feet, power in numbers. So normally, because lionesses do cooperate, they tend to take down big prey, and the male lions can come in. But male lions are also incredible hunters. They are. This female really is quite relaxed. Considering the situation. Okay, they're walking away. Oh my goodness, my heart was in my mouth there, but we're going to sit tight here and you'll be right back with us if anything changes. But for now, over to Jonty and Maurice.
So funny, Maurice is busy sniffing around. There was a waterbuck standing where he is now, a male waterbuck that just ran off. But he keeps sort of stalking and practicing his stealth technique with birds. But he is slowly going back towards where we saw that African hawk eagle with the guinea fowl. So I'm going to just keep trying to stay with him. Let me move. He's making this. Yeah, he's right behind us, so I don't want to move right now. But the direction he's going is good. I see some other guests enjoying Maurice this morning. So the direction he's walking now is straight towards the second African hawk eagle. It's actually up on a dead branch there. If he gets around there, I'm hoping he's going to maybe smell the carcass. But let me start doing a loop around quickly. But bear with us while we drive. It's a little bit tricky in here. Sometimes a bigger loop is better than a shorter one. I'm going to try and go through this gap here, Odie. It's so cool when they're on the move like this. You see such interesting behavior. There's a bit of a stump. So we're just going to try reposition. See if we can get a better view of Maurice for you. Oh, in the face.
Fascinating and charismatic, these scaly-skinned mammals are one of the world's most elusive creatures. Here are some unique facts about pangolins. Pangolins have long, sticky tongues that can grow up to 1/3 of their body length. This is to help scoop up their prey. Pangolins walk on their knuckles so they can protect their claws. A baby pangolin is called a pango pup, and it rides on its mother's back for the first year of its life. A pangolin is the most heavily trafficked wild mammal in the world and is seriously threatened by extinction. Join 4 leading conservation specialists live on Saturday, June 5th as they discuss this unique animal and the threats it is faced with. Founded in 1973, the Endangered Wildlife Trust has consistently and effectively worked towards achieving our conservation legacy. Contribute to this legacy by visiting EWT's Get Wild eShop and purchase products with a purpose.
My name is Steve, and one of my favorite things at WildEarth is getting questions from you. The type of questions that I really like are those ones that really help us to unpack and understand and really integrate the ecological knowledge and fully appreciate the importance that animals such as these Cape buffalo bring to the ecosystem. If you want to ask a question on WildEarth, you're going to have to register on the website. But once registered, just head on over to the live safari page and enter your question under the live feed.
We have a baby pangolin. This is off the charts. This animal is about from your fingertips to your elbow. That's the total length of this animal. This is unreal. This is like now my 4th Christmas in a week. We should do this more often.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
Excuse me, Marips is turning us around. He keeps playing with this male waterbuck, but we're very close now to where that African hawk eagle was feeding on that guinea fowl. I can actually see it. It's in front of me by about 20 meters, but he's walking the wrong way. Because if he had just gone a bit closer, he would have smelt it. No, boy, there was a free meal right here. And unfortunately for him, the way the wind's blowing, it's coming from behind us. So where he is now, it's blowing towards that little carcass that's there. If he had just gone another 30 meters, he probably would have smelt it. But let me try turn and stay with him. I don't know if you can you get it through that gap? It's on that branch. Through there. No, I think there's branches in your way. There's that. He's gone backwards now. But that guinea fowl's just there. I was just talking to the other vehicle. Let's stay with him. He's a bit more exciting than a dead bird. Oh, he was so close, man. You know, for him, that's such a little treat. And it's kind of, I suppose, his first step to becoming self-sufficient is finding those little scraps. And that'll keep him going. Odie, did he look like he was coming back to the road, or? Okay, so now let's see if we can spot him again. Susanna, he is not fully independent yet. He'll be spending a lot more time by himself now, at the age he is, and he'll be honing his skills. But his mum will still come and call him if she makes a kill. And you'll find he'll probably dominate at the kill site. So he actually becomes, in South Africa you'd say, a bit of a chop, because his mom goes and does all the work and then he just arrives and now eats everything. Oh, where is he? Oh, it's hard. Once you lose him in this grass, it is tricky. We're almost back where we started now. Just going to go back in here a little bit. And we'll see if we can pick up some movement. While we try to find him again, you're going to head back to Lauren.
Our water buck, there's now 3 of them, 2 females and a male. Oh no, wait. 4, sorry. All stand in the ground. We've got impala snorting a little bit further around. Then we've got zebra, then we've got wildebeest. These lions are surrounded. They're not very popular. But they've lost interest now. Well, I'm not sure if they've entirely lost interest, but they know that they've been spotted. Everyone can see them. It's cold, and most likely they'd rather sleep. Some of the older lionesses whose bellies are full didn't even wake up throughout that whole situation. But the Talamatis hunted here just a week or 2 ago in this exact place. I think I'm going to turn my back to this nonsense. I can feel the tension in the air. Predator versus prey. One of my most incredible sightings during my time here was at Chitwa. I'm sure some of you will remember, where the Hamilton's pack of wild dogs, I'm sure there was 22 of them that day, or 20, tried to tackle a waterbuck male. He got away, but wow, prey really can stand their ground. Evolutionary arms race between predator versus prey. They're never always at the same level. One is always slightly ahead. You can hear all the sounds, the alarm calls, the snorts, the birds. Is based on what I mentioned, stand your ground. The minute you turn your back and you start walking away, you're leaving yourself extremely vulnerable. These lions are ambush hunters, very successful ones at that. So the prey are trying to stand their ground. The longer they stand and say, I know you're here, we can see you, you cannot get us, it means the lions will eventually sort of forget or move off. So they're trying to stand their ground. The minute they move away and they start to move up towards quarantine, they're going to lose visual line of sight with the lions, and then anything could sneak up on them. These lions are not going to do that, but that's the sort of concept behind it. Stand your ground. Alert everybody. So we've got all the sort of different species around us right now. Everyone is aware that the predators are here. More eyes, more ears, more nostrils. Stay alert. The minute you drop that sort of alertness, you could be in big trouble. And it really does deter the predators. Really, immediately the predators lose interest. They know they've been seen. That element of surprise, that possibility of stalking and ambushing is gone. And that's what both leopards and lions rely on. And the prey, of course, know this, which is exactly why they stand their ground like that. They're all starting to move off. They're going further down to the water body. But this one sub-adult female, she's still interested. I think she's hungry. I think possibly she doesn't have a full belly like the others. She can't do it alone. Not a waterbuck. I think we can reposition a little bit now. Are you ready, Darren? We're a little bit trapped earlier between predator and prey and everything in between. So as I reposition, we are going to send you back across to John T, who's searching for Maurice.
Okay, Marips is taking us on a bit of a roundabout mission. Stop there. I'm not going to move. He's going to come. If he keeps walking the way he was going, he'll pop out on the other side of this bush. But he's made us do some big loops. Oh, don't tell me he's walked away. Let me go forward. Oh, he must be. Oh, he's just through here. We're going to get a nice little view. Have you got him there? Shame, I still feel so bad for him. He was so close to a little snack. I mean, that's all it really would have been. There's a little snack. I do love that like sort of white patch. It actually looks like he's got one on either side, which you can see on his left shoulder blade there. Now this could get interesting. Looks like he's going down into a little drainage line. So that's a good question. I'm going to drive and talk. I don't know if we're going to be able to go in here. This looks like quite a steep little drainage line. But the males, once they become independent, they will be kicked out of that area by their father. Well spotted. I might be able to get down here. Let's just have a little look. And so the males will get kicked out by their father before they're sort of big enough to challenge their dad, and then they won't see their mom again. The females, often the mother will kind of section off, or like allow their female cub to be in a section of their territory. And so they might see each other again, but once they're adults and start breeding, they don't really stay in touch too much more. So he's actually, so we're going to try and navigate along here. I'm going to head back over to Lauren.
They've all come down to the water to drink. They've moved off, and that's what happens. They're just like, let's leave this scenario. We've been spotted, we're thirsty, and they've all come down to the edge of the dam, which is really lovely to see. I love having cats around water bodies. They will drink and drink. Cats are really not the most efficient drinkers, and it takes them a long time to quench their thirst. They don't just take one little gulp or sip. It really takes them a long time to sort of get rid of that thirsty element and meet their hydration needs. Critter Free, good to hear your name. Yes, it's a beautiful scene, and that's exactly why I'm just staying silent. I'm just letting you all enjoy this. The impalas are still snorting, the birds, just all the wonderful sounds, and watching the Talamati Pride around Gallery Dam. One by one, they're all just coming to cuddle. Oh, lions, they've come closer to us, which is perfect. So we're, of course, not going to move. But we are going to send you guys over to Mareebs.
Look where Mareebs has chosen to lie down. What a legend. We parked the vehicle here in the hope that he would come across here. And he walked out and sat, stretched, and then lay down. What a superstar. So you might hear me talking on the radio. There's another vehicle that's going to try and find us, but we're in between two roads in the middle of a drainage line. So it's a little bit tricky for everyone to find it. I do love how they lie with their legs hanging either side of the branch. Station driving Mamba Road coming for Jonty.
Yeah, Jonty, you're on standing by.
Johan, are you driving towards Drakensberg Road?
Yeah, I went down Mamba, but took that other Mamba Link Road, I think, which is more or less to the east.
Okay, I copied. I've got your audio. If you start turning slightly more south, you might have to cross the second drainage line to get to where we are. It looks like two drainage lines meet in the middle here. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm just trying to help the other vehicle get in here. We're reluctant to move. I would love to go around and see if we could get a straight on view of Marips, but I don't want to move because the view we've got at the moment is so good.
Coming on.
Oh, Luke, that is such a tough prospect for him, because basically from here, anywhere he goes, there's going to be dominant male leopards. So they'll often get like a sort of a double kick. So if we see, like, for example, Tavangumi has ended up here, and he's still not settled, but he's kind of kicked over two large male leopard territories from where he was born. And they can move very, very far before they find a place where they can settle in. Because even from the age when they initially leave, they're still not strong enough to sort of outcompete an adult male leopard. So they'll kind of lurk below the radar for a while, and then once they feel they are big and strong enough, they'll then take on the dominant male.
Yeah, because the whole Sabi are not there. Maybe it's one of the member of Talamati.
So I'm just trying to listen to the radio. I can still hear this other vehicle trying to get in here. I'm just going to talk to him quickly. Yes, Eddie, do you think we should try and get that shot over the log? Or should we be patient?
This is about 95%.
Maybe we'll ask the viewers, what do you think? Should we try and get a straight on, or are you very happy to look at him as he is?
Lovely, thank you so much, Abel.
your hand coming for Janti?
Yeah, Janti.
I'm just going to switch on my vehicle. You're not far from us, but I think that drainage line could be a problem. Let me just switch on, and then you'll hear where I am. So we're going to stay here with Mareeps.
Okay, copy. I can hear you now. Yeah, trying to reach drainage line, so I'm trying to get in, but we won't get through from this side.
The annual Safari Guide of the Year competition aims to create awareness for those men and women who dedicate their lives to tourism and wildlife. This year's event will be held at Marataba, a breathtaking privately managed section of the Marakele National Park in South Africa's Limpopo province. In celebration of this, WildEarth and Marataba Luxury Lodges are offering all explorers a chance to win a 3-night stay at Marataba Safari Lodge for you and a friend. In addition to a spectacular land-based safari, Marataba Luxury Lodges offer an opportunity for guests to cruise peacefully along the Matlabas River, watching the animals as they drink and wallow. The lodge offers you a chance to lie by the pool or enjoy a spa treatment, and one night could be spent sleeping out under the stars in a luxurious treehouse. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 30th of June, and it could be you heading off on a long-awaited getaway. WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature. Educating our youth about the environmental threats we face is critical. Our future depends on it. The Wildlife and Environment Society of South Africa, WESA, is actively leading the charge. Their goal is to encourage children to fall in love with our natural world and to empower them to live sustainably in the future. Through their school programs, the children learn to report on environmental issues through videos, articles, and photos.
The YRE program has changed my life in so many beneficial ways. Being out there at the workshops, I was entitled to talk with others, socialize, as well as my writing skills and leadership skills have improved, so it has been great.
WESA is a membership-based organization. By joining WESA, you will be helping to provide valuable support for these youth education initiatives.
Hi everyone, my name's Daniel Fisher and I'm going to be your guide this afternoon. I'm looking really forward to taking you through and showing you all the beautiful places here at andBeyond in Ngala. If you have any questions, please register on our website. Once registered, go to the live page feed and post your questions underneath the live feed. Join me on my next safari through andBeyond in Ngala on WildEarth. Send me live questions through the WildEarth website and I'll answer them live from the African bush.
It's really amazing. They all just came here one by one down to the dam. Get away from that awful noise of all the antelopes shouting at you, and everybody is sleeping. It's a cuddle puddle of lions. I remember when we found the cuddle puddle of Ngala cubs. Well, this is a cuddle puddle of Talamatis. This is the second sighting I've had them in the exact same position, right here at Gowrie Dam. Something's not happy. And that Sabato's back up at the back there. The amount of vocalizations around this dam today. We've had baboons, zebras, waterbuck, impala. Everything's happening here. There's 9 bodies in total. finish normally 14 minus dark, well, but not including dark mane. So this isn't the entire pride. Where are you going, dear? You just want to eat more, don't you? Yes, I know the feeling. Jerome, they do. They get most of their sort of hydration needs met by the blood from the cow. But they do need to drink, of course, and they're just not that efficient at drinking. They just can't suck in the way that we can. We can sort of suck up a straw, or we can even sort of, when we put that big glass to our mouth, we sort of make that sucking action. Cats can't do that, really. And they don't lap like dogs do. They have a completely different mechanism. Dogs sort of make their tongue into a spoon, if you like, and that's how they do it. But cats can't do that. They're basically defeating the laws of gravity. It's all to do with physics. They just dart the tip of their tongue, which doesn't have any of those sort of rough hairs, if you like, on the tongue, and they dart it in really, really fast against gravity and hold that water on the tongue, and it eventually ends up in the mouth. So if you can imagine, that's a very, very small amount of water. I mean, they say that domestic cats get about 0.1 milliliter of liquid per lap. So if you think of 4 laps per second, they're going to get about 24 mils, about 5 teaspoons a minute. That's not a lot of water for a minute of lapping your tongue in and out. I guess cats are just better at physics than dogs. I'm definitely not a cat then. But we once watched Purple Eye all together with all of you at Galagopan drinking, and we counted, or one of you, I can't remember who it was, managed to count for me, I'm not going to take the credit, 682 laps until she was finished drinking. So just at that moment when gravity overcomes and the rush of water is about to fall off the tongue, if you think of the tongue darting straight down into the water and then pulled back into the mouth, just at that moment where the water is about to run off, naturally gravity comes in, the cat will close its mouth. And that sort of little bit of water is now trapped in the mouth, which the cat will swallow. It's all about the rapid tongue movement rather than turning your tongue into a spoon or sucking it up like a straw. So Jerome, you didn't ask for that explanation, but you got it anyway. But yes, they do get a lot of their hydration requirements from the kill. But naturally, water helps the digestion process. So all these full tummies can do with a little bit of lubricant to make it go a little bit smoother. Okay, my lions are not going anywhere, but I do believe that Marieb's is.
He was in such a good spot. So Marieb's, we moved around and he did give us the greatest view, and now he's walking away. Just move the bar out of the way.
Stations will do even the Talamati soon, they're still wrong on.
I'm so sorry, he was in such a superb spot. And then he kicked off a piece of bark with his back leg and then decided to carry on walking away. I love it when they hold their tail up like that. Let's try one more. Well, that's awesome. Just took a log to the elbow. Rusty also needs an honourable mention for the driving that we just did. It was pretty spectacular. Owen needs a 3-point harness to stay on the back. So some of the places we've gone this morning. Yeah, it seems like it. I haven't seen his mom yet. But if that's a trait he's got from her, he's certainly inherited the whole trait. Hear the little bird shouting at him. I wonder if he's not gone back down into this drainage line. Chris, they're shouting for themselves and the other birds of the same species that might be in the area, just to let them know that there's a predator around. The chicks wouldn't really respond to the mom or the adult's alarm calling, so I can't actually see him. I'm just busy looking around. I can hear the birds down there, but it's also the birds they're shouting to let the leopard know that they've seen him. It's a similar way that the impala will alarm call. They're telling the leopard, hey, we can see you. Don't try and catch us. I'm just going to check if the other vehicle has visual. Johan, do you have his visual?
Right in front of me.
Okay, copy. I'm just going to loop around the other vehicle. I wonder if we should go in here. Copy, John. I'm going to try come in below you here. Does he look like he's going into the drainage?
Yeah, just behind me he's talking something. So I've got visual of him. You can come exactly where I am.
Copy. So we're going to try reposition. You're going to head over to Lauren.
Cats everywhere today. And it's not even catter day. And it's tomorrow. Sometimes we lose track of the days of the week, yeah. Completely forget which day we're on. We know food delivery day and that's about it. But I think it means great hope for this afternoon. These Talamatis will definitely still be around. And they've been active all night. I mean, if they appeared on the dam cam just at the end of drive, they've been active the entire night, so it's only natural that they would sleep during the day. I remember when I first joined here, the Talamatis were just this pride that I heard everyone talk about and I never had the chance to meet. It took a long time until I got to meet them. And now they're here on Djuma all the time. Waterbuck have disappeared, the impala have calmed down, and it's remarkable how the antelope species, once the threat is not entirely visible, in their world. So I don't just mean vision, I mean once they cannot either see the predator, hear the predator, or smell the predator anymore, out of sight, out of mind is really how it works with impala. I can see them all behind us and they're all just feeding. The threat's gone, but actually it's not really gone. I mean, the lions are still here, technically speaking, but in their mind, it's gone. They forget remarkably quickly. And that's why lions do, once they've been spotted, they just go still, wait it out, and hope that, of course, the prey will forget. Oh, what a wonderful morning it has been. And now we are going to send you over to Jonty.
I'm just going to go around here. So we are back with Marips. He's still busy patrolling. Hopefully we're going to see him pop out through there. Just going to come up behind this tree. You can hear the Franklin shouting at him. You see he holds his tail up. Oh, let me go through here. He holds his tail almost like a white flag. To say, it's okay, I know you've seen me, I'm just passing through. Let's see if we can get one more look. There he is over there. And then oh, and that tail. He just dipped away from us. What a bummer. But what an absolutely epic morning. I hope you all enjoyed the drive this morning. See him going on the other side there. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed trying to keep Marips coming to, even though he was giving us the runaround. And please join us all again this afternoon, and we'll do it all again.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion